Hey guys, it's RebeccaLynOberstadt. In today's video, I'm going to be working on the first 2 looks out of 4 looks for one palette using the Nomad Orient Express. I'm going to be staying with like these colors here and these 2 colors up here to do the looks. So I will be doing 2 looks using the same shades, but I want to show you the versatility of especially this Venice shade right here. I'm going to swatch out the shimmers really quick, which is Grand Sweet, Istanbul, and Venice. So those are the shimmers that I'm going to be working with. The Venice shade is like an orange base with like green and gold glitter reflect to it, whereas the Istanbul shade is a beautiful like bright gold, and then the Grand Sweet is like a more like a jeweled grass green or like a shiny grass green. It's not really what I would consider a gemstone kind of green. It's not like an emerald kind of green. It's more closer to peridot. So I have pulled a couple of liners. I've got a brown one, a yellow one, and a matte green and a shiny green. So I don't know if I will use these, but I did pull liners and I don't have anything on my face because I figured I would focus on the eyes first. I will zoom this in editing, but we have 2 matte shades and 3 shimmers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and we'll see what I come up with these. And if the air kicks on, then most likely I will stop talking through the video so that, you know, whatever. I'm going to start off with this Golden Age shade first on this eye, and then I think I'm going to go into the Etoile du Nord next, and then I think on the other eye I will switch how I apply them. And I will be using the palette as a mirror because it has a really nice mirror in it. And I remembered when I opened this up to take the thing off. Usually I forget to take a little plastic thing off. And I still use the mirror with it on it. This is what I would consider like a buttercup yellow shade. It's not pastel and it's not like bright. It's kind of a muted shade, and thankfully it's not a mustard shade. And if you guys are new here, I do not like mustard yellow shades at all because my skin already pulls yellow. I don't want extra yellow on my face. I'm just color switching my brush. Now going into a green shade next to it. And this will be part of a 4 looks 1 palette video. And I said in my first impression video, which actually just went bring just a second ago, that I would be doing a look with these 5 shades next for the first 2 looks that I do with, you know, 4 looks 1 palette. And you don't have to have this palette to recreate this look. I think all but the 1 shade you can use probably something in your collection. This green here is more of like a sage green. It's more of a yellow green than anything. And this is a Firma Beauty 203 brush, and this is a Wet n Wild Floofy crease brush. This one's like 83 cents or 87 cents. The Firma Beauty I think is like 12, $14.99, something like that. But it works better at like packing shadow on, and then I use the other one to blend out. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and do the base colors for the other eye as well. So I'm going to start off with the green first. And there's a little bit of fallout, which is one reason why I didn't do anything to my face yet. All right, the air kicked off while I was doing the rest of my face. I did blush and bronzer. I used a combo for blush. I did Willpower and the e.l.f. Bite Beauty, the Leche blush. Stamina for the Willpower. I am wearing the e.l.f. like sheer lipstick thingy, and e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer for the concealer. So that's all I've done so far. I did pull this Sugar Cosmetics Stroke of Genius Heavy Kohl Liner. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my waterline really quick. I went ahead and finished my lids. If you look, I reversed the colors. So I went green and then the multi-chrome and then the gold. And then I did it the opposite direction on the other eye. I need to resharpen this pencil. And I just realized my concealer is creasing. We're gonna do the under eyes, and I think my brows look pretty okay today, so I think I'm just gonna spoolie through them and just leave them. I'm gonna be using a shade out of the palette for a highlight, which is, I haven't done that yet. The heck is my highlight palette? There's one. All right. So for the lower lash line, trying to move brushes that I haven't used off the counter. And take this. Oh, by the way, this was a BH5 brush. I didn't get it wet or anything. I'm going to go in first on this eye with the green. Really up next to my lash line. And probably a good thing that I'm doing like kind of a grungy look right now is because I'm going to be going over fall palettes in another video after this. I've got them all set out on the counter. I'm going to go ahead and take this halfway in on the other eye as well since it's already on the brush. Again, keeping it really close to the lower lash line. The green in my waterline is more of a jewel toned green. Alright, now I'm going to take that Firma Beauty brush into the Golden Age shade. And I'm going to tap right along the outside edge of that green, and then I'm going to blend. Somebody's in the kitchen. My friend Nadine's been here every day the past several days helping my dad on the roof since Regina's husband doesn't seem to want to pay my father back. So, all right, now with this eye, I'm gonna take this on the inner part of the eye and then slowly like work it underneath the green with what's left. Just kind of lightly buffing out that green, but I want that yellow kind of impactful on the inner corner. Now, going back in with that BH5 brush, I'm going to try and pick up Istanbul first and then some Venice on top. Venice is kind of like a chunky shade compared to Istanbul. Istanbul's a standard shimmer, whereas the Venice shade is like their shimmers from their Tokyo palette. That whole bottom row of the Tokyo palette is like these incredible multi-chrome, chunky looking shades that are just absolutely out of this world. So not only am I tying in the yellow from the beginning, the Istanbul shade from here, but I'm also tying in the center shade. Now on the other eye, I'm going to grab Grand Sweet and then Venice and kind of go back in between the two for this one, since I used that green on the inner part of my eye here. And then just picking up a little bit more Venice for right underneath the front. I'm going up, trying to blend some of that shimmer away from my concealer. Got a little fallout on my nose. Those multi-chromes do have fallout, and I do have a little bit of glitter sparkle like right in here, which is fine. Now, for the highlight part, this is a Moda Pro BMX 265 brush. I got this in an Ipsy and I really love it. I'm going to take that Venice shade on here. And I'm going to tap. And then I'm going to swipe. I think I need a slightly damp base. So I'm going to take my Wet n Wild Rose setting spray. And I spray my face, not the brush. The brush is going to pick up some of the moisture anyways. And throw some up here. and down the center of the schnozola. And then I move the palette away so I don't get it wet. I'm gonna have a fast spray. Shut up, stomach. I'll feed you in a minute. I swear to God, every time I come in here to film, my stomach bitches at me. But it is lunchtime. Been up since like 7:30 and I haven't eaten anything yet today. And I've only had 1 cup of coffee. The reason why I use that multi-chrome on my cheeks for a highlight, number one, I'm not one of those people that wears like a normal highlight. Because there's other shades, like you could use this Paris shade for a normal highlight. The London shade might be perfect for like a blush type, or again, I would use it on highlight. The Alberg Pass could also be for like a nice medium skin or light medium skin highlight, whereas Bar 3674 would be beautiful probably on like darker skin tones. You could use basically any of these. That gold, oh my God, that would be beautiful on like dark or deep dark skin tones. You could use those as like highlighters as well, but I wanted to tie the highlight into the eye look as well. So this is the oh, I didn't throw mascara on. Whatever. I'll do it after and then do close-ups. So basically this is the finished look for my first 2 looks, doing 4 looks, 1 palette with the Nomad palette. I just want to sit here and pet it all day. My friend Diana is making shawls, like cowl neck shawl things out of velvet yarn, and I was like, I just want to come and pet it, and can I name it George? And she's laughing out loud because I love velvet. All right, so let me throw some mascara on and then I will zoom this in so you guys can see it close up, which will be the clip that you see right before this part. I will see you guys in another video. Well, I'll see you again in just a second because I'm going to be doing another 2 looks after this. So this will end up being merged into 1 video. So I got ahead of myself. I'm hungry. I need coffee. Probably both. So anyways, I will see you in just a second with a bare face to do looks 3 and 4. And hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think down below. This is kind of like a grungy look. I know Lauren May Beauty's doing a like grunge thing right now on her channel, and I'll try and leave her link down below the 2 videos that she did on like grungy eyeshadow colors. But for me, this is kind of like fall, so it is what it is. All right, I will see you guys in a second. Bare face to do 2 more looks. Hey guys, so this is the next 2 looks for the 4 looks 1 palette using the Nomad Orient Express palette. I'm going to be jumping right in. I went ahead and did the rest of my face because I was in the middle of editing a video for my what I currently own for fall color scheme palettes. This is actually included in that video, so I wanted to get that edited, so I went ahead and did like concealer, blush, bronzer. I used the palette for highlight. I will probably go back over it because I just powdered my under eyes, and of course my camera battery is flashing. Yay. So last time I worked with these 3 shades here and then these top 2 shades. The first impression looks, I ended up using this shade, this brown, this neutral shade, and this color here. So I want to try and do something that is more like neutral with a pop of something. That way the first 2 looks I ended up doing in this video were like grungy. And I know for my other look, for first impressions, I stuck with these 4. So I'm going to try and use this Bar 3674 shade. Again, the red I might use, but it'll be like a pop effect. This London shade I've used like over like blushes and stuff, so I will probably dip into this. But I will show you what I'm using, and if the air kicks on, I will stop talking and I'll point up so you know that the air's kicked on, and that way you'll know that that's why I stopped talking. I might record a voiceover for this part. I've already got the first 2 looks of this video edited. So hopefully the air works with me. It's a little cooler outside right now. I'm going to start with this Guilty 12 shade because I do have some concealer on my lids. So I'm going to start. This is a Crown brush. It's like a dual-sided brush. It has a little dense pencil brush on one side and this like floofy blending brush on the other. This really is just to put something down to blend on top of and to set the concealer up here. And I did go ahead and put mascara on. I'm going to put it on the other eye as well, just so that they match. This is basically my skin tone, but a little bit peachier. And I'm just setting the upper area of my eye. Now, I don't think I've used this shade here, so I'm going to go in down here for the other eye. I'm going to tap it out here first. And I tap and then I slightly buff it forward. I'm also going to carry it under my eye. If you find that your eye like wrinkles like mine does right here and it like messes up when you're blending shadow, I do a couple of different things. I raise my eyebrows, I close my eye, or I look down. And what that does is it stretches the eyelid a little bit so that you can work with it better. You can do like what some women do, I've got here on my brush, is you grab here and you lift, close your eye, and then you can blend, and it makes it blending a little bit easier when you have older eyelids or just wrinkly eyelids, period. I mean, you don't have to be 40 to have inhospitable eyelids. Now, if you look, I've left this area in here pretty much empty. There's a reason for that. We're going to do a faux cut crease on this eye. Taking a flat synthetic brush, this is a wet n wild brush, I'm dipping it into my little cup of water. I'm going to squeeze it to get the extra water out and then tap it on the back of my hand so that it's just slightly damp. Now, we're going to be working with this Bar 3674 shade. It's this really pretty like bronze shade. And what this does is it kind of turns the shadow into a cream when you get it wet. You can also use setting spray. I can't because it burns my eyes. So we're going to come in up here. Again, I raised my eyebrow and I've got my eye closed. I'm going to put it down and then drag straight down to my lash line. And then I'm going to do it at an angle. I will zoom this in and editing. Again, I'm going to grab my finger and lift up. And I've more or less carved out an upside down triangle on my lid. Let me pick up just a little bit more. That was literally one dip for all of that. I'm going to drag it forward just a little bit more and then make sure the top is nice and sharp. Again, I've left this outer area empty on purpose. So then taking this brush, I'm going to color switch it. I'm going to re-dip it in the water and then shake it off and then press the water out on my hand, squeeze it with my hand, with my fingers. And then we're going to be going into this Alberg Pass shade right here. It's this lighter golden shade. It's really pretty. This is one of their chunkier shadows, so you kind of have to work it in the pan a little bit. And then I'm going to tap it in the front. And then we're going to meet it up to that other shade. And then I'm going to pop some on my inner corner as well, and then tap up here and then run it over with my finger. So that way it's not too blingy, but there's a little bit of something there. So this is what we have so far. Now on that outer edge, I'm going to take this BH number 4 brush. It's a flat synthetic brush. I'm going to grab a nightcap. And I'm going to be tapping this right out here. It's a little bit of a more purplish red brown than the first one that we used. And then I'm gonna lift my lashes up and go right up under my lash line on the outer edge. And then we're gonna go back into our blending brush and blend. I start here and I sweep up and I do little short strokes to blend. And I don't want to go too far forward because I don't want to blend that shimmer shade. Now, it was more like a liquid to powder kind of shadow with using water on the brush to create that cream type texture. So it shouldn't move a whole lot, but I just want this outer edge a little bit more diffused. I start here and then drag it in, and then I come back to the corner and then I go up. And then a little short, quick motions. Now, taking that Wet n Wild brush again, I'm going to color switch it. I'm not going to re-wet it. I'm going to grab that Roaring 20 shade. Holy crap, it's pigmented. All right, so we have a really nice neutral eye look. Let's throw in a pop of color. We're going to come right up here to the front of the inner corner, and I'm going to tap it up here and then meet it in the middle with the browns. That looks really crazy. But we're also going to take it out here on the outer edge, kind of like a counteract thing, and go over that bronze shade at the bottom just a little bit. I'm going to pick up just a smidge more, and we're going to wing this. So closing my eye most of the way, I'm going to take this brush and just kind of swoop it up. And then flipping it over and make sure I get the rest of the pigment. And now you have like a faux wing. Now, the front looks crazy, so we're going to buff this. This is a clean blending brush. This does not have anything on it. It's a Morphe M149. Again, if I could find this brush in another brand, I would buy it in a heartbeat. And we're just blending that out so it's not so harsh. I'm going to color switch it real quick. I'm going to color switch this one, and I'm going to pick up Allberg Pass again, which is the gold we used on the inner part, and I'm going to tap over this red. Not only is it going to lighten it, but it's going to kind of merge those two colors together. I guess I need to keep the palette a little further away. My eyes have been bothering me, and I was out working with the neighbor in his hayfield yesterday with no sunglasses on, so my eyes are really bothering me today. And then just blending that bottom edge back out. And the Allberg Pass did give me a little bit of fallout, but I still had powder underneath my eyes because I didn't powder my eyes when I first did my makeup, so I powdered it right before I started filming. So here we have the finished look. And again, I already did mascara before. You can do a couple of different liners. I'm going to just grab this one. It's a bronze shade from Pixie. It's in Bronze Beam. It's their Endless Silky Eye Pen. It matches the lid shade in the middle. I think that works out pretty good. I need to sharpen it though. Now for the other eye, going back to that crown brush, you don't have to have a million brushes. You just have to have one or two that you like how they work, and you can use the same brush, especially if you have either a wet washcloth that you can, dust it off on, even one of these like little elf things you could use to like kick product off on. This was from JCat. It was like $5 back in the day when I bought it. I think they still sell it. I got mine from Ulta. It's like the best money ever. It's starting to tear up in the middle, but again, it's not like the $20-something that Veramoda charges. Or you can go to Walmart or any drugstore, even a black hair supply store. Okay, I don't know when the air kicked off, but my dad texted me to let me know that I left the water running on the garden last night. He heard the water pump kick on this morning when he was getting ready for work. I was like, oh crap. Good thing that he told me when he did, because it's like 9 o'clock right now when I'm filming this part. Started doing my makeup at like 7 this morning while I was editing. And had I not caught it before 10, the plants, the water on the plants would burn the leaves. So probably a good thing that he heard it and or remembered because yeah, I don't want to hurt my plants. We have what I think are watermelons growing in the garden, and we've got one poor little cucumber, and something just came up and it's about this big around and it looks like a watermelon, but I don't know what it is. I planted certain seeds in certain places and the wildlife relocated some of them, and I even have zinnias growing in my vegetable garden, and I didn't even plant those, so I don't know where those came from, but I've got 2 different colored zinnias growing, so hey. All right, so this is a very neutral look again with the pop of red, and I didn't do anything else to it. I just kind of left it how it was. So with this eye, I think I've used most of the shades in this palette. I think I'm going to try and work with this one here, this shimmer, and maybe the white. So I'm going to start with this Côte d'Azur shade here, which is kind of more pinky. And we're going to start. And that doesn't look like a whole lot on my skin because it's basically my skin but pinker. That's okay. Sometimes you don't need a whole lot of color when you're doing an eye look, so you can just throw down something like light like this and then go in with your shimmer, which is what I plan to do. So I'm going to take my finger into that London shade. Oh, it's like 2 different colors in the pan. So I'm gonna see, oh it is, it's like, it's got like blue and pink with a like salmon undertone. All right, so we're gonna get my brush wet again. I'm gonna go back into that Wet n Wild brush I was using on the other eye that has still some red on it, so I'm like trying to make sure I clean it really well. And I'm gonna go into London and pick it up on the brush. I think because of the dual chromatic nature of this shade, a brush is going to bring the shadow to life a little bit more than my finger will. I'll still tap over it with my finger afterwards to make sure it stays put. I'm going to carry this 3/4 of the white in on my eye. This could easily be one of those shadows that you use for a one and done kind of look. Just stir this all over the lid, blend it out just a little bit in the crease, and then you're done. I don't know if you can see the shift, but when I grab my eyelid with my finger and shift, see the color change? Look. I'm not even sure if you can see that. It's like pink here and then like blue on the outer edges when the light hits it just right. Really pretty. It's pink off my finger. And then I'm going to grab that Paris shade, which is this like chunky looking white shade. It makes it look more pink over that Paris shade, or I mean the London shade. And we're going to put it here. I'm just pressing over it because it's a little bit of a chunker. So I wanted to make sure that it's pressed into my lid, and then it like lightly blended it into that other shade. Got any left on my finger? Yeah, just a hair. So I'm gonna pick up just a smidge, run this in the brow area. And there you go. Talk about night and day. Very minimalistic, very light, very kind of like ethereal almost. I like that color. What do I want to put in the water on it? What do I have to try? This will work. Maybe. like a lavender purple shade, so. All right, so the last two looks, what do you guys think? The lip color is the NYX Butter Lipstick in Root Beer Float. Blush is the Willpower in Stamina. Bronzer is L'Oreal Lumi Bronze. And again, I used Allbark Pass and Paris for the highlight, but it's not quite, highlighting brush it all the way back. Not quite as like bright as I'd like it, so let's fix that. I'm gonna pick the shades up on the brush first. Tap into both, and then back up away from the palette. There we go, that's a little better. This is a BH number 18 brush. It's like one of the first brush sets I bought from them. The one side's more blingy than the other. So you like the more neutral side, and then hello, you can see me from like everywhere side. But that's okay. Both sides don't have to match. And then whatever powder I had left on my face, I want to make sure I buff that off. And this is it. These are the last two looks. I mean, you can get so many different looks out of here. You can do one color looks. You can do two color looks out of this palette. You could work in like the quad section. Paris all over the palette. I just like the French to spread the love. Okay, so if you look, you've got this quad here you could do. You've got this quad here. This quad here is a little strange because of the blue. And then you've got this quad here, which is another neutral one. Or you can do like these four across the top. I think that'd be really pretty. Or again, these four across the top, but you've only got the one matte shade, which is a very white shade. I'm scaring the camera. It won't even focus. I mean, look at how white that is compared to my pale skin. That's like a white shade, and it's not chalky looking either. It doesn't look like chalky against the skin like some white shades do. So it's a really nice white shade. I also love the peacock feather detail in it. Again, scaring the camera. Yo, look at that, right there. What are you doing? What are you focused on? All right, let's pick something neutral. Can you focus on that? No. I mean, look at how white that bad boy is. So I will zoom you in right now and show you the look up close. Ringing. So this is everything. Let me know what you guys think down below if you like look 1, 2, 3, or 4, and if you'd wear any of these. So yeah, I'm Rebecca Oberstadt. I will see you guys in another video very soon. Have a fantastic day or night wherever you are.